Hey guys, today I'm talking to Ambi. Ambi is a really accomplished Valorant player. He's played for loads of different teams. Giants, probably where he really started to make a name for himself. He then played for Casse and Alternate Attacks, and most recently playing for Valiant, where they won the Coupe de France. Ambi has over $10,000 of Valorant winnings, which is a lot when you look at most players on VLR. Today we're going to talk about a number of different topics, but mostly focused on Ambi's history, the things that he's learned through this, and the different roles that he's played. Ambi is one of the few players that has really put a lot of time into duelist, but also played initiator in a number of different teams, and really his insights into what makes you successful on these different roles. I really hope you enjoy this video. Please drop a like and subscribe. The more this podcast grows, the bigger the guests get, and the more interesting insights we're going to get to learn. I hope you enjoy this episode. See you in a bit.
Fight around with Ambi.
And the mid road is side.
What? Please smoke.
Valorant.
Garden guys. Yeah, hit.
Andrevar!
Dead. One heaven. Nice. Heaven.
Brown.
Let's go, kurwa! One more. Nice, kurwa!
Low.
So anyway, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. We have the week day off, so right now I went the time to spend with my family, and I'm chilling after the Coupe de France. So yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah, congratulations on winning. How does that feel? I mean, obviously it's a big one it's the off season, right? So it's maybe not as big as you'd like it to be, but
Yeah,
I guess how is it?
yeah, but I still think it's a very good victory for me, especially for me, for the team, of course, as well. But it was my first tournament when I swept roles, so now I'm back to initiator, and
Yeah.
I am really happy that it went this way. That I could feel the confidence back and everything on this role, and yeah, I really think it was a good run for everyone.
I didn't realize that you stopped. Yeah, because you played duelist for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You played duelist for a bit, and then went back to initiator. How? That's interesting because not many people kind of do that, right? So why did that come about? I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's mixture of things, to be honest. I mean, when I started playing Jet, it was in one of the Czech teams where basically they liked my mechanical gameplay and they thought, okay, you are the best of us, so you will play Jet, right? And from that point, I played Jet in a lot of teams. But then the sudden change of roles came when I joined Giants, right? Because there was only empty space for initiator, so I played a lot of Sova.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what not my voluntarily choice, it was the team decision, because we even tried actually in Giants that Fitinho will play Flashes and I would play Jet again, but we had so many role swaps only for me to get on my comfortable role, so it was not the best decision for the team. So basically I stayed on initiator there. Then I went to play in Casa and I played Initiator in the beginning. Then again, player swapped, and I went back to Jet. So it was constant swapping for me, But then I stayed for Duelist for a bit. I played it for a year, I think, and Casa. Then I played it in Alternate Attacks this year. But I was thinking about this switch for a long time now, and I think I liked my decision in the end, So of course, it's only the beginning, but right now I'm really enjoying it. I decided to switch off after the alternate attacks. I decided to change the roster to full German team. So yeah, I was now in this off season, I was trying to search team for the initiator role, and I got into Valiant, and yeah, things can be better, I think. So, and the main reasons why I did this, I would say that it's to focus on my biggest strengths in the game, because I am not the type of person who should be playing duelist. I think, from duelist you want some, cocky guy who is like don't thinking much about the game and just like mechanically godlike, and just clicking heads and like minding his own business. Boys, let me win this round. Like go sit there on the bench. I will just win the round for you. And
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I could be this guy, but it's not like my natural self, I would say. And I would say about myself that I'm more of a helper. I like to think about things. I like to think how I can beat opponents. Rather than just like, okay, I will go here, I will pick him, get him one tap. I want to have like more stuff that I can use to like outsmart the opponent and stuff and help my teammates. So that was one of the reasons that I was trying to go back. So I can utilize those trends. And of course, like the communication as well is like. I like to communicate a lot, basically, in the team. I'm always like the vocal one and the guy who is speaking the most. So with duelist, there was not much that I could say. Of course, like I could ask for utility and like make some plans, but now with the initiator, like it's perfect for me. I'm literally like leading retakes. I'm leading everything. So it's for me, it's like heaven. I can really do what I want.
I love that. I think so I guess like part of me about this kind of the general idea of the podcast for me is to like be able to give people advice and people's experiences of how they've kind of found success. And I think it's really interesting hearing what you're saying about this, right? Like where you think your strengths are and how that enables you better on certain roles, right? I think this is like a really key discussion actually, because I think certainly in my experience, I've seen a lot of people where I'm like, I just don't think you're playing the right role. And I think to be truly successful, I mean, really to make it to the top, right? You really have to be playing the role that is for you. Like you say, if you're not almost arrogant, right? When it comes to being a duelist, I think it almost comes to the point of that there's a line of like, okay, I'm very confident in my ability. And I think that's kind of essential no matter what role you're playing. But it goes to a point of, actually, no, I know that I'm the best player in the world and I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna walk out and one tap 3 guys and that's my job done.
Yeah.
So I guess
think
sorry.
Yes, sorry. It's also connected like to the instincts, like the guys are, I think many duelists are just like they are not really thinking what they are doing, they are just, okay, I will fight this guy, I will kill him, and they will just do it, and they don't care if it's like a good situation to do it or not, if the team needs it, they just are like, okay, I will fight him, I will either win the duel or lose the duel, I don't care, but I want to fight him, I will do it, and for me this was like one of the biggest issues that I had, because again, I like to think about things that I'm doing, so whenever I saw, for example, that we had advantage and stuff, I didn't like to peek. I didn't like to like give the advantages back. I wasn't playing as ballsy, as other duelists, basically. Because I like to think about what am I doing, and then I could like miss the right timing for the thing I want to do and stuff. So
Yeah,
that was like one of the issues that I had while playing duelists.
I think that's great, and I think it's really self-aware of you to recognize that. I think a lot of people obviously miss that point, right? They don't realize actually what they need to do on that role. I think that's like I said, I think it's a really key point, because often we don't think about it. We fall into a role and it's maybe like the first team you're on and you just end up playing that role for the rest of your career, and then you're like, oh wait, actually maybe now I've really kind of fleshed out my understanding of the game and what the job of each role is, like what you actually have to do to be successful in each role. Oh, actually, maybe I can play better to my strengths. So I guess to that end, like you say, initiator makes more sense for you. You said you've played kind of recon, scan, whatever word people want to use for like the Sova role, and you've played kind of flashes. I guess how do you feel about both of those roles, and where do you? Obviously, you've kind of played flashes more recently. Yeah. Do you prefer playing that? And I guess why? And where do you? How would you make that decision? I guess.
Yeah. First of all, when I like joined the off-season pool, of like free agents, I was more prepared to play the scanners, the Fate and Sova.
Yeah.
But the issue with this is that like many teams prefer to have their IGLs on those roles, because it's basically the most essential util for attack and stuff. So yeah, mostly I just play this role, and I'm happy that I like got to discover a little bit of the flashes as well. Of course, I was able to play them at a decent level as well. But now I would say that I am like even more confident, because in the flasher role, I mean, because with that you can also play a lot more aggressive, you know, like right now I'm playing a lot of breach, which is not really the case, you know, because with this there is another strength that I have the stun, which basically for me it means, boys, I can help you on around the
It's
map, you know,
global utility.
I will stay in the middle of the map. Wherever you call me, I will stand for you, you know, like you have me behind your back, you know, even if
Yeah.
I am on the other side of the map, I am there for you. So like that's perfect for me, and I absolutely love this agent. But of course, with Sky and KO as well, those agents are perfect. You know, if we want to do like something aggro, like together, or like make some plans, you know, those agents are better for me. You know, because of course I play Jet, so I am also aggressive player. You know, it's not like I can do both. Of course, with the breach, I cannot be as much. But when it comes to the business, you know, I like to play aggressive as well. And with the Kaio and Sky, like it's it's very good for me. Also, I like to find lineups. You know, so like I have many pop flashes with Kaio. You know, which yeah, I'm very excited to use in the future because I don't think I showed them much. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, right now I am very comfortable on the flashers, and I think it might be even better for me than the spotters, to be honest.
Spotter. I like that. That's a better word for it.
Yeah,
I
that's
I, I called it.
Spanish terminology.
Oh no, that's a better word. I called it revealer once in a thread I wrote on Twitter, and I just got like, oh, it did really well because I got so many comments saying, "What the fuck is a revealer?" I was like, yeah, no, spotter's definitely a better word for it. Yeah, that's great, and I think, like you said, you've clearly found a lot of success in that role, and I think also, again, like kind of from what I observe, I think that people that have had a bit of experience playing duelist, actually playing flashes works really well because you understand how you want to play as a duelist, right? And I think you're very much in a position where you're so central around what the duelist is doing and understanding what they're doing, how they want to play, the timings that they want to take, and things like that. It gives you kind of another level of awareness.
Yeah, I agree completely. Like there are many times, mainly again with the KO, for example, on Ascent, you know, that I saw in the tournaments or in practice that Paulie, right, the duelist from Valiant, he wanted to pick something, you know, he was like ready to pick, and I'm like, wait 1 second, I will flash for you, you know, and it gets the play from like 50-50, which he like kills or dies, it increased for like 70-30, only because of my flash, you know, that I do for him, and like the 1 second delay. So it really makes a difference, you know, that if you can like see this, that what your player can do, and if you can sense, you know, like what he wants to do, I think it's really important for the flasher to have.
Yeah, I think it's so central. So let's take a step back. I'd really like to learn more about kind of your story and your kind of progression as a player, where you started all the way back to like in your childhood. I'd really love to understand your whole story, right, comprehensively. So maybe take me back to Ambi as a, I don't know, when did you first play a video game?
It's hard to say, but it was early in my childhood. I remember that I used to play games with my mom as well because we had like not very good PC, but at that time it was decent, and we played like some small indie games, you know, at that time. And I was always sitting on her lap, and we were like playing games together, of course, with my father as well. So yeah, I was like raised in a family of gamers, I would say, at that time. Then of course, like my oh, yeah, I forgot the word, the male of aunt. How do you say? You know, like you have aunt, like
Yeah.
and then you have like
Oh, your
brother from my
uncle.
mom.
Your uncle.
Uncle, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
sorry,
yeah, yeah.
I absolutely lost the word.
That's okay.
Yeah, so my uncle was basically, I think he still is like working in electronics and stuff, so he was always like setting everything for me, you know, showing me the computer parts. Then he was having like this whole big pack of like CDs with films, with games, you know, so like he really like got me into it, you know. And like I played then on our PC. I was playing football at the time, so I played a lot of FIFA. I started to play Call of Duty 2, for example. That was my absolutely favorite, and Call of Duty 4 as well when it came out. So like those were my first games, I would say, that I played on PC. Apart from the small indie ones, of course, when I was like very small, but I don't even remember the names. So this was like the bigger ones that stuck with me, you know, during like my childhood, I would say. No, and then when I was like older, I started to play League of Legends. I enjoyed that game a lot, and I played it with my like school friends. So, but I was not really like good at it, you know. It was just for fun. But it was nice experience. I really enjoyed it. We were like playing the duo together. I was like usually the AD carry, and my friend was supporting me, and we were trying to reach bigger ranks, but not really successful. But then another friend, or he was actually playing with me as well. Hello, Bornik, if you were watching this. He actually brought an idea that he would like me to try an FPS games, and it was CS:GO, of course.
Yeah.
Because he absolutely loved that game, and he played it a lot with his friends. And so he was like, "You can try it." So he even bought the game for me actually, and this was the time, when I started playing FPS games. We played a lot of Face It together first because I was scared to play matchmaking, so I will get a bad rank, and I will not play good with him. So we literally played Face It hubs first, to show me how to work the guns and how to do everything, and like find the callouts for the maps together and stuff. And then when we were ready, we started playing matchmaking, and I really enjoyed that. There was actually where like my competitiveness, which was like always part of me, it translated into the games, because CS:GO was perfect for this. There were the ranks, and for me at the time, like being the global elite, it was something, like that's something that I wanted, like with all my heart, because I like to like get better at things, right? So this was perfect for me, And we started playing. My first rank was, I think, like the double A case. I think it's called MG2 or something.
MG2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe that was like my first rank because I played a lot of Face It, so it was not like I was complete noob when I started matchmaking.
Yeah.
Then I started really playing. We were like playing and playing because we both wanted like the global rank. I even remember that I had a poster that I printed on my printer, and I had it like above my bed. Like this, I will achieve this. I will achieve this. No,
I love
and
that.
I played and played, and then I reached that. Then I reached global elite after a few months.
Yeah.
And then the same was with Face It level 10. We had the same. We played Face It, Face It, Face It. We reached level 10, and at that time, I was like, I really enjoy this. Like FPS games seems like so much more fun than, for example, League of Legends for me at that time, because like I thought that the skill level was like much bigger, like I could showcase my skill better, and the game fit me more. Of course, now when I think of it, League of Legends has insane skill ceiling as well. So like I wouldn't say that now, but at that time I really felt like FPS games are very good for me, and I enjoyed them. And that time I was just playing for fun. I just was trying to do my best, and I really enjoyed it. Of course, I was following the CS:GO scene a little bit, so from like my favorite players, like Oscar, who is now playing still in Sinners, Zero, who is now actually, I think he retired. Yeah, he retired from like playing competitive CS:GO. But those like Czechoslovakian like legends, it really stuck to me because like I was really trying to look up to them in the case. They were doing a lot of vlogs, for example. I was watching their vlogs. I remember, like I even sent it to my mom, and I was like, "Mom, look at where like he's in this hotel, and he's playing, for a bunch of money." I'm like, I want this as well, like it's incredible. Like imagine if I could reach it sometimes, like that would be insane. No, and then when one moment came when I got like offer, or like not one offer, but they basically asked me if I want to play in a team with a bunch of like Czech players. It was like for a small org. It's actually still working now. It's called Revital Gaming. Maybe they rebranded for something with trains. I'm not sure. I don't remember it now, but basically that was my first like half professional organization which I played for. It was not paid, like I just got a jersey from them, and that's all I wanted, that was literally all I wanted. I felt so good, I'm like, look, I have my jersey, I have my name on the back, I'm like, yes, like this is insane. So at that time I was very happy about that. We played a lot, and we like tried to, it was my first experience with a team environment, like literally we were trying to like have strategies and playbooks, and I was really happy about that, but we didn't have much success, not in Czech scene, not in like other scene, but it was very good experience. I played my first LAN, I think even 2 LANs actually went on, which we did decently. We didn't win it, but still, it was valuable experience for me, and I was like, I want to do this, like this is very fun. I really enjoy this. So I try to like play more and stuff. But the thing was that when I was 18, I had to like study for the final exams on high school, and basically that made me to leave CS:GO, and I stayed more in the football field again. So basically it was like football first, then CS came, so I like downgraded the football a little bit. I went like to back to like my village team as well, because I wanted to play CS more. And then I had to like lower the CS again and play football more again, basically. So whatever I did though was like I was trying to give it my all. That's how I am, because like whenever I do something, I'm doing it in a way that I want to be the best at what I do, basically. So yeah. So because of school, I focused on school. I passed my exams, so that was good. And then basically I was like, yeah, okay, like CS is done for me. I don't know. It will be hard for me, and I didn't achieve anything. So I just stick with football, and I moved from my home village to the second biggest city in the Czech Republic, which is Brno, and where I am currently at the moment as well. It was because I wanted to study university.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went basically at that time. I went full-time university. I even had 2 universities at that time. So I was like, yeah, I think learning stuff at school was never a problem for me. So I was like, yeah, sure, let's try two. If it doesn't work out, I will just keep one. But yeah, I went to study law school and economics at the same time, and that was for about 1 year, I think. And it was I was doing good. Like everything was fine. I passed both of the semesters. And then Valorant came out, no, and immediately I fell. I fell in love with the game. Like me and my friends who had like this CS:GO group that we played. With the guy that brought me to CS and my Slovakian friends. Like they were like, yeah, we need to try this. Like this looks so incredibly weird. Like you can literally wall hack people through the wall. I remember the trailer. In the trailer there was Sova, and we were watching it with our mouths open. Like you can see him through a wall. How is that possible? You can literally have a wall hack inside the game. That's like this game will be nonsense. No. But we still were so excited to play the game when it came out. I remember that when the game started in beta, there were you had to basically watch Twitch streamers, I think, to have a slight chance to get it. So I literally told my girlfriend, hey, look, just set an account and put on this PC a streamer, that is streaming this. I really need to play this game, And then it happened that I was the only one from my friends who got it, and it was actually the girlfriend's account, not mine, but it was the girlfriend's account. And from that point until this point, my main account is like her login, like I'm literally logging in as Lady Rainbow. No, it's actually embarrassing, but it is what it is. It's
Still today. Oh
yeah,
my god.
It's literally her account, up until this day. So yeah, but yeah, I played it. My first game in Valorant was against the Czech streamer I watched to get it. That is actually incredible as well.
Your first game?
My first game that I ever played in Valorant, I played Brimstone on Bind. I don't know how I remember this, but I just do. And I played against Mazarini, who is my favorite streamer of all time from the Czech Republic. He's literally, I love him so much, And I played against him. I lost 11-13. And yeah,
no.
I even
God.
streamed it. I even streamed it on Twitch, and I have it saved on Twitch as my not the best moments, but I don't know how to call it. Like when you open my Twitch, it's basically there. I played my first Valorant match. And yeah, I played, right? My friends got in as well, so we started to playing together. And then Valorant was actually booming in the Czech Republic. In beta, there were like so many tournaments, and Mazarini, the streamer, he was actually the one who was promoting a lot, and I want to thank him for that, because he was really doing a lot of noise in Valorant, and he was actually a pro player as well. He was playing for Esuba and for, yeah, I think Esuba and one more team, I think, before it, but I don't remember it now. And he played with Monster, for example, with Twist and etc. Like with a lot of those Czech stars who become like tier 1 players. After, like he basically raised them. Like he taught them, because he used to be professional player of Code 4, like a long time ago, you know. So now he was basically an in-game leader who was like teaching the young kids, like, look, I will be playing the boomer and I will show you, you know,
I'll
how
be
to
the
play
dad.
this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, that's what he was doing, and he did it very well. So he was really promoting this game. He was like tryharding a lot, and there were like a lot of tournaments in the Czech Republic where there were, for example, like more than 128 teams signed. You know, it was actually incredible. There were no
Only.
there were no
Wow.
like orgs involved, but basically the people were so hyped about the game
Yeah.
that they joined it even though they had like no clue what's happening in the game. You know, and they were just playing the tournament. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was even 256 teams, but I don't want to lie.
Wow.
128 it was for sure, but I think at the peak it was 256 as well on the tournament. So we started to grind so with my friends, but then I got offer from one of the players I played before in the CS team in the Revital. So he was asking me if I want to play with some of his friends some of the tournaments, and that's how I got into my first Valorant half professional team. It was not an organization, you know, but it was called Vikinge Creek.
Yeah.
And I think we did at that time very good job at like reaching the Czech scene. You know, we were winning a lot of tournaments, which for me was like a new thing. You know, I was like never winning much. You know, so we won like 3 or 4 tournaments in a row, I think. And our biggest rival was at that time team called Ferrari Peak. With PUBG players like Elfzoy and Oko and stuff. I don't know if you know any of them, but they were a big deal. You know, I played against them in CS as well, some of them. So I was happy to finally beat, at least like sometime. Of course, they beat us as well, you know, many times. So it was like 50-50. But I was happy that I was able to beat them and that we were doing good. And from that point, I then switched teams a little bit, but nothing like special. And then I got picked up to like a first Czech organization that joined, I would say, Valorant, and it was Ambi.
Yeah.
And that was really like the first thought in my head that I was like, yeah, like this is a very prestigious organization in the Czech Republic, you know, like I might go back to pursue my dream and to go pro again, you know, because I played it for fun, Valorant, because I liked it, right? I played the tournaments just in my free time, just because I like PC games basically. But when I joined Sampi and we went, for example, on the boot camp, you know, like they had this huge villa as a boot camp, and I was like, yeah, like, you know, like I am living what I was sending my mother, like the videos, you know. It was incredible that like I was able to do that. And at that point I was telling myself, yeah, maybe it's time to go back to playing, you know, like maybe Valorant is the game for me. I got very good start with my Czech teammates, and we basically went full focus on Valorant from that point. I still, of course, like studied, you know, I had to like maintain it, but my main focus was at the time that I want to play games again, you know. And we were doing decently, I think. We reached, I think, top 32 or something in VLR, so we were like the best Czech team for sure, and we even reached like a decent rating in Europe as well. But yeah, at that point, like the conditions, apart from the insane bootcamp place, you know, in something like they were not great. So it was not like I could, at any means, I could like say, okay, fuck the university, I am just going full on Valorant, you know, like
it wasn't a full-time job.
Not even close. Yeah, it was not even close to a full-time job. So basically, I still did my best, you know, but I still had to like remain the university because I am the type of person who doesn't like to go have a backup plan, you know. Basically, I like to be smart about things, as I told you in the beginning, you know. Goes hand to hand with playing initiator and like living my life, I would say. So
your strategy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying always to have like a strategy B if strategy A fails, you know. I heard a lot of like the mentality, you know, that if you have a strategy B, then you are not really fully focused on the strategy A, you know. But I don't agree with this much. I still like, you know, that I have multiple doors open. If anything happens, you know, like imagine that I don't know, my arm is amputated or something, you know, how do I play or what do I do? You know, like I always want to have like something to rely on in the future, you know, that I can go back to. And so that I'm not worried about like what will happen next, like in my life. But yeah, as you would guess, law school is very hard, and it still was very hard for me to maintain everything, because yeah, I mean, it's hard to reflect on it now, but the law school is just something for me. I don't like, for example, reading much, when I need to read all the laws and like comprehend everything. For me it was very hard, even though I as I already said, I don't have like trouble learning stuff, but this was very hard for me. And after another year, which was then, I don't know what year it was, but basically I had 3 years done on the law school. I said, okay, like this is not going well, I can't continue like this. So I tried to switch the schools. So I stopped the law school and I went to the economic school, and I basically continued the economic school, and now I have already the bachelor's done.
Mhm.
And it was mainly because for me it was like easier, there are more things with math, for example, which I absolutely love. There are not it was just easier for me, like this subjects, for example.
Yeah, I understand.
So
I mean, it's simply when it
yeah,
comes to something like law, there's just so much content to consume. It's not something like you say mathematical where it's about problem solving, it's about understanding, whereas law is much more about, okay, you need to learn a 10,000 page document and you need to know it off by heart. Maths isn't like that, right? Economics isn't like that. So in some ways it's simply about the time, right? Is that actually doing a law degree takes an enormous amount of time because there's so much stuff. The vast quantity of things you need to remember is the challenge. Not that they're difficult to understand. Whereas I think economics is the opposite. Is that for most people the things are difficult to understand. There's just only like this many of them.
exactly.
It's a much smaller book.
Yeah, so I went this way then, and when we go back to the playing, then I went from Sampi into a very good team. For me, it was like something again. It was unbelievable. I went into Giants, which was at that time a tier 1 team with like all business. So like at that time, I was like, yeah, I did it. Like I literally, I am here. We were in the Red Bull tournament, for example, which was up until this day, I think, the best experience I had as a player for LAN, regarding LAN structure. Yeah, then we were trying to play for Masters as well. When we lost to G2 and we were one map offshore to go to Masters tournament. I think it was in Reykjavik at that time. So that was very hard punch, into my stomach. I really had like a hard time swallowing that pill. But yeah, it is what it is. I fought on and on, Also, I would like to point out that before Giants, I also had like a tryout in G2, for example. There was like very close to signing with them, but unfortunately they choose someone else. I was like their second option at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that was very heartbreaking for me, but I kept working, and then the Giants offer came, so like I was back on track, but yeah, that was as well like very hard for me to like get over, because
It makes
like
that
G2
loss
was
much
my
harder, right?
yeah, it was
And
my dream
G2 is
org,
a bit of a
basically.
dream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is literally the biggest org that I was following. I was watching all the memes they were posting with a league as well with their CS. It was literally the dream org that I would join, and it was like my first tier 1 organization who actually approached me and wanted me, in their team, who wanted me for a tryout.
Yeah.
That was incredible and painful at the same time. But yeah, I kept working, and then the Giants offer came. I don't know. No, I think I will get a little bit into the details here because I think it's important for anyone who would watch this. And if, like, for example, it's some new player, I think it's very important for him to hear or her to hear. What happened basically between the swap from Sampi to Giants was that even though like I basically had like almost no pay, right? Or like I didn't have like full-time job or anything in Sampi, like it was not considered at all like that I could live on my own while playing the games. But I still had to sign the contract, and the contract at that time I would sign even if there was literally devil written on it. I would sign it because for me it was my first professional organization. I didn't have any agent. I didn't know that I need to have an agent. I didn't know anything about any esport things in the world. Like regarding contract wise.
Despite studying law.
No, of course, I was about to say it, I was about to say it, that, of course, I studied law, I read my contracts, it was like a metaphor, of course, I would not cite anything, like,
Yes,
but
yes.
for me at that time, I was like, I don't know how old I was like 20, I would say, 19, and
You just wanted
of course,
it.
yeah,
You
I just
wanted to
wanted it,
make it,
exactly.
right?
Like,
Yeah.
even though the contract was not good for me, there were like a lot of penalties. They were like, like buyout. But I was like, yeah, but who would buy me? Like literally, like I was not thinking about it. I just wanted
Yeah.
to join them. Like I of course I had to like read it with my parents and everything. I read it 50 times, everything. But again, even though it was like not the best contract for me player wise, I just signed it because I wanted to join the professional organization. That's how it is basically.
Yeah.
But then, of course, I got punished, because that's how it is in life. And basically, what happened is that Sampi didn't want me to allow to join Giants, and that was for me insane, like breakdown, because basically everything was done. They said that they want me, but it was like a fast notice because there was the tournaments and they want to try to prepare for them fast. And they told me that they need a player without a buyout. So like if I was on buyout, then they just cannot afford to have me on their team and Giants. And even though like with Sampi many times, with their manager and staff, they were like, we are so happy for you that you are like 34th, and if you got picked up by like any first tier 1 organization, we would never like let you down. We would be happy that we can be the team, that can like send the talented players into the world and stuff, and those kind of nonsenses. No. And then when it comes, to the business, of course they wanted to pay Giants the buyout.
They're still a business, right? And they've still got a
Yeah,
contract with you.
exactly. Like it is, like you just even though like the people seems nice, like you just can't trust anyone, in the world of business. And that's how I learned it, like in a hard way. But yeah, at that time I already like signed a contract with the agency that I am in right now, Fabrica Esport 2. And yeah, I was like at this time, when I reflect on it, I didn't know what I would do if I didn't have them, because they literally helped me to get out of it. They literally helped me to be able to like discharge the contract and to like leave and pursue my dreams, and like so I was able basically to discharge the contract by some like obstructions, which was then resulted by court hearing. So basically they sued me because they didn't like it, of course, so that was my first experience with
Bloody hell.
yeah, it was rough. But yeah, so basically they sued me and we were like it was going on for like a year and a half, I think, maybe even more. I don't remember exactly, but I joined the Giants. I played there. I don't regret my decision at all, that I did it. Basically we went to court. It ended up with a settlement. So like we agreed, on some terms which I followed, and everything was fine, so yeah. But when I first got like the information that they are suing me, and I saw all the penalties that they want me to pay, that was literally like insane amount of money, and I was like, bro, what have I done, and I was about to like, I don't know. But yeah, it ended up well, that's for sure. And for everyone who is listening to this and you want to become pro, like try to reach out to the agencies, try to get help from someone who understands it, like don't think that you and your parents can read your contracts. And like of course you can read them, but the meaning behind some of the paragraphs isn't what it looks like. That's the important thing. Like it's a business, it's written by actual lawyers from the organizations, and they are smarter than you, trust me. Even if you think you are not, they are smarter in this manner, 100%. So yeah, that was like my window for new upcoming players, like which I think is really important. So
Really important, yeah.
really important, yeah.
Yeah, especially right now, because there's a lot of people going around signing contracts, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that will make the mistake signing bad contracts.
Yeah. So let's get back to Valorant, shall we?
Yes.
uh, yeah. So we joined Giants. We played Red Bull together, which was incredible. We ended up third, I believe. Yeah, we lost only to Asen at the time, who won that year the championship.
Yep.
So that was very good result from us. Then we were one map off short against G2 to the Masters tournament. And then what didn't happen? No, after the Red Bull, the coach and two players decided to leave the organization because they got a better offer from G2. So like it's everything is connected to this organization for some reason. But yeah, so they basically left, and the team decided to kept only Fitino. So I was forced to find a new home as well. And I found Kase, which was again very pleasant experience for me. I think the organization is super good. They're like their facility and everything, their management. It's very friendly, and it was just pleasure to be there. I was very grateful to join them. First, I joined as an initiator. I played Sova for a few months, but then again the roster shuffled. I played Jet afterwards. We had very good times together. We won the LVP tournament in Barcelona, so basically the Spanish league.
Yeah.
Which was my first LAN that I won. So again, a super big achievement for me. But also, I would like to shout out one person from Kase. Of course, Gold as a coach, that like he was incredible and helped me to understand me as I am right now. Even though I don't know if he thinks that, but he really helped me to shape me as a person. Not really as a player, because again I played Jet there, so he didn't really like shape my supportive skill or anything. But he helped me to understand a lot of things as a person, that how I should behave in a team, for example, and what I shouldn't do. And I after that experience, which I like did many mistakes, I would say, in that team. I think I was a new player, after that. So now I feel like I am a new person. I learned so much, from that stay, that it's actually incredible, and I'm utilizing all of it right now, and I feel so good in any team that I join. So it was perfect. And with this, I want to shout out to the psychologist that was there. Her name was Alice. I don't know if she will watch this, probably not, but yeah, she again, we with her, I understand how important for the professional player is the mental health. For me at that time, I didn't really think about it. That's why I was kind of sad when I reflect on it again, that I joined Giants right after Sampi, because I was literally threw into the fucking pond of sharks. I was playing with Czech players in a small, I mean not small, but in a small Czech organization where we spoke only Czech with each other, and then I was thrown. I had to speak English for the first time with my teammates.
Yeah.
I played against the best players at that time. I played against Fnatic, G2, every those names, and I had literally zero experience to play against them. I was playing tier 2 Valorant at that time, maybe even tier 3, in Sampi, and I didn't have the experience, basically. Like, let's say it like that. Like I was learning stuff while I was like playing in Giants, for example. I was like learning the breath exercises, because I really felt the pressure on me. Like I am playing against fucking big names, and yeah, it's important to acknowledge all this and to find your own way, because every person is different. Find your own way how you deal with this. And this was really the time in Kase with Alice, with all the sessions that we had. We were like meeting almost a lot. I mean, 2 times per week, for example. And we were working on this so much, that like maintaining the pressure, then like trying different exercises that would help me. Also, of course, like the disputes, for example, how to like when I didn't agree with someone in the team, how like to talk to players and stuff, like all those small things that make the difference in the end, on the long run. If you are playing in a team and trying to achieve like the big tournaments, champions, masters and stuff, you really need to like have this down, So yeah, that's another like person who I would like to like thank that she shaped me like this, and now I'm able to see things much easier and cleaner, and everything is so much better for me right now. So yeah, this I would like end Kase in here. Basically, what happened there was they tried to. There were new LVP rules, right, about the Spanish league, that they had to
Yeah.
have 3 Spanish players. So they decided again to make roster changes, and I was part of them. So I left, and then I joined
Attacks.
Alternate Attacks. Yeah, in the early of this year. And again, it was a beautiful experience. Like it was actually kind of interesting because I was the only Czech person. There was literally 7 person or 6 people who were German, and I was the only one Czech. That was incredible. Like my friends were making fun of me, but it was fine. Like they really did their best, to speak only English when I was around. So I want to thank them for that. It was pleasure experience. We worked a lot. The first split was not so great in the German league, but the second split, I think it was much better. We worked on our mistakes from the first split, and we actually learned. And we qualified to playoffs, but then in the playoffs there was some, I don't know, bad karma or something. I don't know how to call it, but we just didn't perform. Maybe it was the pressure. I don't know what it was, but we just got out fourth. Yeah. So basically, that was my stay in attacks. And while I was playing there, I was already thinking about switching the roles because I just felt like, like this is not for me, or like not the best for me. I would not say not for
Yeah.
me, but not the best for me, because it was also one of the tryouts that I had before the alternate was, for example, in Mouse. And the coach of Mouse, Kundi Kundi, at that time, he basically told me, that he liked me as a duelist very much. Like I played a few games with them, and he liked me a lot. But basically, we were talking a little bit also about my changes, with the roles and stuff. And
Yeah.
he told me that like it's only up to me. He likes how I play the duelist. He thinks that I'm very good at it, but he thinks that I need to decide what can I be the best at.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what he told me. So he told me that if I think I can be the best duelist in the world, I should play duelist. But if I think that I can be the best initiator, or I can be the best flasher, then I should go for that. And it was that time when I was like, yeah, like I really give it a thought, and I was like, yeah, I think I will have so much harder time trying to beat all the correct jets and races, Derke, who else? No, Aspas, everyone, like they are just so
Insane.
incredibly mechanically skilled, and
Yeah.
it's just the role is made for them, But I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel that I was like, wanted to compete against them basically in like the mechanical part of the game, So again, that was one of the conversations that I had that led me to this point, that I basically decided after the attacks to say, fuck it, if no offer came, it's fine. I will just focus back on my universities. I will do the plan B, that I had.
Yeah.
And if not, I will just want to be the best, because I just don't want to be stuck in tier 2 Valorant or tier 3. I don't know how we want to call it, but I just don't want to be stuck here. I just want to get as high as possible, as I can in my career. So I was like, yeah, I will do the role switch. I will do it. And it was a gamble, kinda, but I think right now it is paying off. Of course, it's off-season tournament. Like we are not talking about some masters or champions here that I won. So it's a small tournament, but it's a good beginning for me. It's very good beginning. Like I started, I am feeling comfortable. I'm feeling very comfortable actually, and the results are also showing. So like, what more can I think of? It's actually perfect start for me. Then maybe I would like to say a little bit about the Valiant because
Yeah.
it was kind of funny because no one wanted to try me out as initiators. Like of course I was new. Like everyone has me as a jet. What even happened to me is that I had so many tryouts, and the guys. I literally started playing the game. We start the game, and he's like, "Ambi, go jet." And I'm like, brother, but I don't want to play jet. I'm not playing duelist anymore in the tryouts. And he was like, why not? Like, you play the Jet the whole time, but they just, people don't read my looking for team post, and they are just like, we pick Ambi for duelist spot. So this happened to me so many times that they actually thought that I will just be, duelist still. But in Valiant, what happened was that they didn't even like really wanted to give me a shot. That's the funny thing. They didn't even want me to give me a tryout, like not a single one. We were like, I was trying to reach out to them, of course, my agent as well, and we were really trying to like pursue them, that I am the right one, right person, for their job, because at that time they told us that they need someone who is very vocal and who is like who will be like the second leader of the team, who will be like helping to basically be more vocal,
I think
short.
like the kind of the pacemaker, right? I think that's
exactly,
the role that you fill,
that's
right?
perfect word.
Yeah.
And that's I was when they told us, like in the first like trials when they were searching for players, I was like, that's me, like literally that's my biggest strength, like fucking go there, scream at people when they, I mean,
in a good way.
In a good way, of course.
Go, go.
Yeah. But that's who I am, and it's also connected when we go back. This is connected from the football experience as well, because in football the emotions were there always, like the coaches were screaming and stuff, and I got it from them, and it was every time it was so emotional to play football games. So I think I got this from the football games, where I literally during a Valorant game in officials I am screaming like a fucking monkey, So whenever like we win a round or some, I am just always there for the hype. I don't care if it's 1-11, if you are losing, if you are winning, I don't care. I will always scream after win round because that's how I am,
Yeah.
That's basically what I do. And they so after we really like pushed it a lot, and I was like, give me at least one match with you, give me one match with you. And my agent helped this a lot, and I also wrote the in-game leader at the time, Sakeg, right, who is like from the Czech Republic. We played a little bit of ranked with each other, and we know each other a little bit, not much, but a little bit. And he was like, I will look what I can do, right? So I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
And then they gave me one match, and they're like, like we really like you, Like first we had some issues because I was really trying to like overcome a lot, to show them that I am actually the guy. But the issue was that I was sometimes like going over the in-game leader, that's what was happening in the first matches that I had with them. So basically, Bromas told me like to try to relax a little bit, that I'm doing very good. He likes what I'm doing, but I am overdoing it, basically. And then I found like the perfect balance, and we kept tryouting, and they decided that like the personality is like much more important for them to experience on the flashers, because I didn't have much experience. I am still learning up until this point. Every day I'm learning something new. So they just decided that they want on long term, they will value my personality more than like my experience, and they will like try to basically teach me everything, on the go. So for that, I'm grateful for them, that they didn't just pick some skilled flasher, who can just click heads and flash for himself and stuff, but they really make an effort with me to see who I am, and to see that like my personality is like very good for a team environment, and especially for their team environment where the players are more quiet, I would say. So so that's how I got there. It was kind of fun, from actually not wanted to give me a tryout to getting in the roster. And then we started playing, we started practicing, and Coupe de France we were on bootcamp at that time. So we were practicing a lot. I really like the professional background, that we have during the stay, for example, on bootcamp, because this is like the job of the coaches, like Bromas and Kentaro, who is our performance coach. Like he is really like wants to have everything lined up, and he's really like strict about his rules. And I kind of liked it personally, because I really feel like a professional athlete at the moment, that I have like some regime, and he's like trying to really get the best out of me at all the conditions possible, basically. So he's really showing me like how to achieve consistency, how to achieve those things, and to not get like involved into things around me, just to focus on your game and get the best from it. That's basically what he is teaching us, and I think it's very good and it's very helpful, at least for me. So it was also a part why we won the Coupe de France, I think. Like we the semifinals were not so clean, but yeah, we managed to push through, and we showed our insane mental when we were losing 4-11 down, and we won 13-11. So that was the thing that I will never forget until the end of my life. I think that was very, very emotional for me and a very, very good match. And then the finals, that was clean and easy, I would say. That was our day. They had normal comps, which we knew everything that they will do. It was basically easy club. So yeah. Yeah, and here I am now, a week after or 2 weeks after I'm talking to you. So that was a quick, maybe not so quick, but quick run through my life. No.
Yeah. I love you give a lot of credit to the people around you. I mean, the performance coaches, Kundi, who have been in when I post it, the last episode of this podcast. So obviously people should go and watch that one because that's a really good one. Kundi's great, actually. We had a really great conversation.
Yeah.
And the performance coaches as well. I mean, this is a big focus for me as well. And part of the reason actually that I got into doing this is because like having talked to a lot of performance coaches and just understanding what it really takes. Because it's actually right now I think it's becoming a much bigger thing, right? Performance as a whole, performance coaches as a whole is becoming such a big part of esports, and it's only growing. And I think the credit that you give to those people, I think, is probably due. Like they really make a huge difference, especially in a game where small percentages make the difference at the top. It really is. If you were 5% better, then that's a big difference, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Between being like good and being great is probably 5%. There's a lot of things that you've said that I want to pick apart. It's kind of hard to decide where to go, I guess. But I guess one thing you said about people that have helped you get to where you are. How important do you think that is to surround yourself with the right people?
Yeah, I think it's very important, but it's hard for me to say if I was just lucky, or if I just like chose the right people, It's really hard to say, because as I told you, for example, in Sampi, like you never know when if it's actually a good person or not, like you never know basically. So I think part of it is luck. Like I stumbled on good people. I have good friends. I have good everything, like good team environments. That I joined the teams. There was always someone who helped me to get through stuff, to teach me how to improve and get even better. So yeah, it's hard for me to say, but again, I think it's very important that with every experience that you have, with every team that you join and after leave, because every story has to end, so unfortunately, you need to take something from it, and you need to become a better player, a better person. That's for me like the main thing that I'm trying to do. That whenever like I am learning something, I just want to after I leave, for example, a team, I just want to say, okay, like this, I learned this here, and here I will not do for example, the same mistakes that I did, and so yeah. And when you have the people are always different, like in every team you have different people, different personalities, different coaches who want to teach you different stuff, or different players as well who want you to play differently, who expects you to play differently. So from every one of them, you need to choose something that you will remember them for, and like to be okay, like I learned this with him, for example. That's how I do it actually, that I learned this from that person, and he taught me this basically. And it's like a huge snowball. You have a small snowball when you start your career, and you are rolling and rolling it with every team. It gets bigger and bigger, and then I hope and I believe so that at one point in my career, the snowball will be so big that I will be able to play on the biggest stages of the world. That's how I believe. I want it to be one day, but we will see what the future brings.
Yeah, what do you think? You've had that opportunity, I think, to kind of see what it's like to play at tier 1. What do you think you need to do to get to that level? And obviously, you've changed roles, right? So it's a little bit more
Yeah.
challenging. But
I mean, at the time I played in tier 1, I played actually the initiators, you know. So like
oh,
for
yes,
me,
true, yeah.
yeah. So it's hard to say, you know. It's many things, but at that time for me, I had more of the like the not a mental issue. It sounds weird, you know, but like the pressure was going on. I was not really like I didn't really master my agents, you know, so that was also a part. So I
Mm.
was not playing. For example, that was like one thing that Pipson was trying to teach me and that I take from him was that he was trying to force me to use the agents in the same way. It doesn't matter who you play. You know, that was like his idea, and that was like my biggest issue when I played in Giants. That I didn't play as Ambi. I played as Jet, and I played as Sova.
Yeah.
And I played it completely differently, you know. With Jet, I was fucking ballsy motherfucker. I didn't care who I played. I peeked, I knife, you know, and I just killed them all, you know.
Yeah.
But with Sova, oh boys, watch out, you know, they might be there. I will recon, you know. I will not peek him. I will just recon. Maybe he will be there, you know, to see, you know. I was not playing it as I normally do. I was not playing my game, you know, basically. So that was a thing that he tried to teach me, you know, that it doesn't matter what you play, even if you play a Viper, you know, like if you just need to have your game style, which will suit you the best, and that you need to apply on those agents, you know. Of course, like he was not saying me to go entry as Sova, you know, run there first and like do
Yes.
Jet's job. But basically what he said that like if it's like 4v4, you want to pick a guy, you know he's there, just pick him. You know, it doesn't matter if you are Sova, if you are Omen, if you are Jet. It doesn't matter. If you are feeling confident, you know there is a guy somewhere, just pick him and get the kill. You know, that's basically what he tried to teach me. That it's not how you play like an agent, but it's you how you want to play it personally, you know, in all of those agents. And he knew that I was the more aggressive type of player. And he was trying to like teach me this to put it into the Sova, you know. But at that time it was difficult because I was overwhelmed with everything, you know. Again, I played against huge names, so that was pressure. I didn't manage to like have everything down with the Sova, you know, like with the reveals, shot darts, and everything. Then he wanted me to do this as well, you know. So there was so many things that was like affecting me, you know. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I really think that I evolved so much from that time, and even though again we did decently, you know, I don't think I would say that it was bad how I played in Giants or like our team, you know, it was very good. I think we achieved good things. I think, yeah,
Yeah.
from the like half a year that I was staying there, you know. So yeah, but I don't know, to be honest. I think on personal wise and like learning ethic and work ethic and everything, I think I am ready to like play on the highest level. Now I just want to get more experience on the new role that I want to play. I want to be more comfortable. I just want to like feel it's my new main role, you know, that I will just play. Uh, and then I want to believe that I would be ready to play at the highest level. So yeah.
It's a tough one, right? Because you obviously have a lot of experience. And so it'd be nice to make that transition. Not many people do university at the same time as esports. Like very few. I think that, well, having done it myself, I mean, I understand the challenge. And I guess, I mean, I don't know whether you experienced this, but I certainly had to turn down full-time offers because I couldn't do them. I mean, it physically wasn't possible time-wise to do them at the same time as doing, you know, being at one of the best universities in the world at the same time is very challenging because they want to push you too, and they want you to get the best results from the university course as well. So how have you managed to do that? And I also, I to add to that question, I mean, you've obviously done a lot of other things as well that we haven't talked about here that I'd love to talk about as well. Like, you know, you play the piano, your Rubik's Cube, like those are all things that I want to get into because they kind of make you who you are. And I think understanding that identity, right, which goes much broader, the role that you play and how you stylistically should play, that identity of who you are is such a big thing that people need to understand that it's so important. So I guess what is your identity? You know, I want to understand that more broadly because it's such an important thing when it comes to playing the game and just understanding yourself generally.
Yeah, no, so I would start again. I discovered about myself in an early age that I was super competitive. Like that was my thing. I think the first time that I really felt it was when I was like literally in elementary school. I was like 7 years old, I would say, or 6, and we were playing a game like in a gymnasium basically, right? We were in gymnasium and we were trying, like, the teacher set up some course that we had to run through, and like we had two teams separated, right, the school into two rooms, and we had to, like, who was first then won, and
Yeah.
I lost it, and I was like, I hate competition, I lost it, and I hated everything. I was almost crying because I lost, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to compete ever again. But then the next week they had the same exact thing and I won it. And it was the best feeling I have ever had. And that's, I was like, yeah, so it's actually not I don't want to compete. I just want to win.
I don't want to lose.
I don't want to lose, exactly. And that's when I like discovered that everything that like I could compete in, it wouldn't matter what, I would just like to compete. Connected to this is also like the piano, because my family, my mom and dad, was really like I would say at that time forcing me to learn it, because I didn't really want to, but yeah, they really like pushed me through it, and they were like helping me a lot to learn how to play it, and then I got like decent at it, and I was playing a lot of tournaments in playing the piano as well, like the competitions. So that was actually my first time like competing apart from football, official matches. But the piano was, I think, like again one of the first time that I competed against different competitors. And yeah, I was doing like decently, not like I was like not some virtuoso and anything, but I did decently in the Czech Republic here. I managed to like pass the art school, basically from like as a hobby, not as a like school, but it was like art school, like as a hobby. So basically, I passed that, and from that point, my family was like, yeah, okay, we are done here, like how to play the piano now. You do and the rest is history. I have the piano behind me, and I'm literally playing it every day, like whatever songs I want, whatever like pieces, from composers, kinda all I can, because there are some pieces that I cannot play, but yeah, it's just nice, to have, and I wouldn't change anything, like it's again one of my biggest hobbies that I have, like playing musical instruments. I recently added, like, here you can see the ukulele that I have, and then behind me here is guitar as well. So those I just like self-taught, self-learned. I don't know what's the correct word.
Self-taught.
But yeah, basically it's not the best, but I can play like some songs, and stuff when someone comes. So it's good. I really enjoyed it. And when we continue with the identity part, apart from competitiveness, I am also like I like to learn things. I like to experience the things that are new to me, and I am also very good at like mastering them fast. So basically, that's again connected to the ukulele, everything. Like wherever I like set my mind up to, I would say that I can reach like the beginner's level or like the slight intermediate level very fast. Then of course it's very hard, the guitar and the ukulele.
Mastering anything.
Yeah, mastering anything is super hard, and usually for me it ends up at like being decent, like not good, but being decent at things. So for example, like the Rubik's Cube, right? Like again, I'm always having part of my life when I'm like, I want to learn something, I invest my full life into it. So once in high school, I discovered that one of my friends could learn. Could solve the Rubik's Cube. I'm like, bro, how can you do it? Then he showed me, and I was like, yeah, we were doing competitions with like my friend who showed me the CS:GO. We were sitting at our desks, and we were literally like, go, and when and trying to and who solved it faster. And it was so good. I loved it so much. Then. Yeah, and it's with everything basically. I just like learning, and that's what I think is like my huge strength, because of course I'm transposing it into Valorant as well, and it's all about learning, If you are just satisfied with how you are playing right now, you will never like succeed, You always there is something that you need to work on, and I like it, I like to get better at things. I like to learn. I like to do those things. And again, if we like connect it to the first question that you have before the identities, the universities, it's literally the same for me. Uh, I I was like I had I would say easy time in school, or like not easy time, but it was either easy for me, for example, as the math, I love math with all my heart, and now I'm a little bit sad because I don't have any, so my math years are over. But with those things, those were easy for me, so I always got the best grades. And with the things that I was not good at, I still was like combining the learning and competitiveness, and I just pushed through it, and I always got the best grades as well. So that's basically like how I am now. I just I have talent for learning, I would say, and I just, if something is not working for me and I cannot learn it, then the competitiveness side of me kicks in, and I just push through this and I learn it anyways. So yeah,
It comes to an interesting question. I don't think I'm not sure there is a right answer to this question. This is more of a philosophical question. But how much of it do you think is talent? That you're obviously quite smart, right? You've been academically successful, and how much do you think it is because you work really hard? I mean, I think that both of these things are important, but do you think that it's a prerequisite to have the talent as well?
I don't think it's prerequisite, but of course it makes things easier. It's really hard to say. As you said, it's a tough question, but I think everything can be done with hard work, but some of the people need to work harder than the others. And it's only on them in their minds if they want to sacrifice more, if they want to work hard enough to reach the guy with the talent. And yeah, that's it for me. I would say. And when we go back to the universities, like I don't think I would be able like to do as you said, like full time going to school and full time playing. It's just impossible, like for any human. It's not about talent or hard work. It's just you need to have two
You
things.
need to
And
sleep.
yeah, even the podcast with Keiko that I watched, like he was saying the same, like you just cannot focus on everything. You cannot do 50-50. You just need to do 90 and then 10 for rest, for example, or like, something like that, at least. Not maybe 10, 0, actually. I mean, 100 and 0, that's the best if you can do that, but that's very hard. But what I managed to do is that, I don't know how it works like in around the world, but in the Czech Republic, I could have asked for the individual plan that I told before already. And basically they gave it to me because I was like professional athlete, so I kind of received that. And with this, I kind of sacrificed a lot of my social life and my free time and rest time. But I am working for the plan B, basically, So, yeah, I am just, trying to work on both of those. Of course, like my main goal, is the Valorant, and I will, like, I'm doing my best at the moment. But the university is just, like I'm trying to basically pass the exams. It's not like I'm studying for a red diploma or anything, I'm just like trying to get some basic education from it and have some other doors open, if the Valorant fails. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's smart, personally. I mean, I've kind of done a similar thing. I've not nearly been as successful as you, but in some ways, I think that's kind of been my approach as well. Although as it stands right now, I would obviously, because I've got my PhD, I can just, if I got a full-time job in Valorant, I'd probably take it, because I love it. Right? I think it's difficult to beat that kind of competitive spirit. I do think. You clearly you really embody this growth mindset, right? And I love that, and I think that's something that's like so important. I think that makes people very successful, and I guess my perception is a lot of people don't embody that, and I think that's a big reason that a lot of people don't succeed. So, well, I guess outside of that, I mean, you're very focused on yourself, I think, in that sense, right? You're very focused. Like you say, I think you've got those blinders on you, like, I know what I need to do to improve. But I guess, what advice would you give to other people? You know, there's a lot of stuff about the growth mindset, right? But I mean, there's obviously more specific things, maybe, even.
I mean, it's hard to say, but for people, the main advice I would get for people is to dream big, but have small goals that you need to line up in the path that will lead you to achieve the dream. That's what was a huge game changer for me when I realized this, and I started using it in for example, the global elite poster, right? That I told you. You just cannot start playing Valorant and be like, okay, I am diamond now, and like have a goal. Okay, I will win VCT. In terms of, for example, 3 years. That's just it. It's very like hard to achieve. It's super hard to achieve, and many people are working for it, and they are already like you are starting here, and people are already here. Trying to work for the goal which is here. So it's super hard like to achieve it like this. But what you have to do is like this one big dream. For example, as I had the global elite, right, the poster on the wall, and just go step by step. Like maybe even like every day you can set a small goal for yourself, or like have like these small goals, then the mid goals, big goals, and then the dream that you will achieve when you reach all of those small points. That's, I think, is very important, and that's what will help you. Again, we are back to the growth mentality, but that's what will help you grow, will help to improve, and you will like see every day, like the things that you are doing, and it will really make the difference in the long term. Maybe you will not see it like in a week, that you focused on spray control in CSGO, for example, or CS2 now. No, it doesn't matter. But you focus on spray control or tapping heads, and you just can't feel it. But the next week, I promise you, or the next month, you will just be beast on this, and then you will figure out that you need to work on comms, that you are raging too much. Then work on this, and then you will just improve, and you will reach it eventually. I believe so. If you really put everything, every like all your might into it, and you really want it, and you want it more than the others, then you will achieve it.
We've got a little bit over time, so
Okay.
well,
Yeah,
I mean,
sorry, I really like to.
I'm
speak.
happy to talk. I'm happy to talk longer. If you want to talk longer, I have more questions. But
I
if
don't mind.
you're
I have a lot of time for you, so it's up to you, basically.
yeah, so I have another one. This kind of opens up I guess another topic, but we can decide what actually goes into the final podcast. We can edit it.
Okay.
So I guess another question is, what's the biggest challenge that you've faced? Because you faced a lot of challenges in your climb.
No, that's hard to say. No, I would say that the biggest challenge for me was the decision, right? That you just don't go like the easy path or like easy path to study and go like to work a normal job, that many people like choose, and just try to pursue something bigger, something that fulfills you, something that you like and you enjoy. I think that was like the biggest challenge, because of course, like some of the family members that I had, like they were not very happy, and they are not very happy up until this point, even, that I am like pursuing this type of career. Of course, I am always trying to shut them with I'm still studying, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like a side job. But I think this was the biggest challenge for me, like, or I don't know if you meant the question more into like the Valorant itself, but yeah, I think this was for me.
No, I think that's a great answer. I think this is a very hard question to answer.
Yeah.
I guess three more questions. Three more
Okay,
questions.
let's do it.
What do you think your strongest attribute is as a player?
Should I say only one? Because like
You can give your top three if you like. If you're going to sell yourself as a player, right? And maybe strengths that you think other people should to build, or maybe recognize in themselves as part of their identity.
Okay, so I would say at least 2, maybe 3, because it's hard for me to decide like which one is the strongest one. But the first one I would say is discipline. I'm the type of player who likes working, who is ready to learn things, I am not going anywhere with like, hey, I am the best player in the world, just take me. I am always like the person who will learn what you need, who will adapt on what you need to do from me. So I am very like shapeable. And plus in-game stuff as well, I really don't like playing basically uh, without the chains, of discipline. So what does it mean is that as a support now, it's perfect for me because I don't think you will see me giving out an advantage when it's, for example, 5v3, like that's against my full nature that I just say 5v3. I mean, I see 5v3. I even say to my teammates, we have like those keywords. So I even say, boys, play numbers. It's 5v3. And I would be the last one who would die on those type of situations, like I really don't like this like I will go for the ace, I killed 4, so I need to go for the ace and kill the 5th, and give him the small chance that he will win the 1v3, for example, that's just not who I am. And I'm just focused always on the big picture of adding the one number to our scoreboard, like to the points basically. So that's the only thing that matters to me. I don't care if I kill 3, I don't care if my teammates kill 3, and I don't care about any aces or anything. I like the discipline of this, to just focus on winning as a team, focus on winning the rounds. And yeah, that's how I do it. That's the first thing. Second thing I would say is communication, because as you already probably know, I am very like talkative person, but it has to be said that I like to talk when it is about if I have something to talk about, basically, So like I'm not usually like this. I would say about myself that I'm actually more a little bit introverted than extroverted. But in game, for example, I am very like talkative. I am always making plans. I am always hyping the team up. It doesn't matter the score, If we are losing badly, I don't care. I will just scream at you every round if we win. I will hype you up if you are down, 0-7. I will just flash for you. You will kill him. You will win the next round with clearing 4, I don't care. But that's what I do, basically. I am just there for the team, and I will do my best to make the team work. Like even if it costs my own individual performance, for example, I don't look at that at all. Like I don't remember last time when I watched VLR, if I had plus or minus next to my name, I don't care. The only thing that matters is the W or the L for me. So yeah, so to sum it up again, discipline and communication, I think those are the two biggest strengths of me. And I really think that with this new role that I got into, I will be able to fulfill them at the 100%, and I will be a really valuable asset for any team.
I think that's great. So, what's your dream? I mean, bigger, right? We all want to win. We all want to go VCT and win a tier 1 event, and that kind of thing. But what's bigger than that? What do you want your legacy to be, right? When you ultimately, like I think everyone does, when you ultimately retire, what do you want your legacy to be?
It's a very tough question, to be honest. But I discovered in the past years of playing that I don't really want for example, the attention that Boaster is trying to have right now, and of course I understand him, when it's great for him, I'm very happy for him, I follow him, and he's a great guy, everything. But this is, for example, something that I wouldn't want it myself, because I'm just basically not the type of person who like seek the attention like this, so I don't really know, like for what I like, who I can relate to, I would say the most, or like who I admire at the moment as a player is Leo from Fnatic, who is, I think, has like the same, no, I don't know if mindset, but he has like the same personality as me in a way that he's not really presenting himself much on the social media, and he's like not really trying to seek any like special attention outside of the game, like everyone knows that he's one of the best he's one of the best in the game in what he does, but he's not like trying to push his image like more, like he's just happy with this, that everyone knows that he's super good. And I think that that's what I want as well, I would want people to like think about me as like now as like the one of the best supports in the world, that they can rely on me, that I set up the insane flash, for a duelist to go ace, like something like this, you know. I don't really mind. I don't really know because it's a very hard question. But this, I want this to be like my Valorant legacy, you know. Of course, winning some big tournaments and being like the guy behind the screens that only the smart people from Valorant who actually understands the game will know that like I am doing a lot of the job, you know. Even though if I am not like always first on the scoreboard, you know, and not having any MVPs from the tournaments, I don't care. No, I don't care. I just want to people to acknowledge that I am actually good at what I'm doing, and yeah, that's it, I guess.
I can very much relate to that.
Yeah.
As a coach, I mean, I can relate to that, right? Because you certainly don't get the same level of recognition. Well, firstly, I want to thank you for your time. Honestly, this has been a great conversation. And
Thank you as well.
if there's anyone you want to shout out, or you even shout out your own socials, although you what you just said, maybe not. But yeah, if there's anyone you want to shout out, please do.
Sure. No, I'm mainly using my Twitter. It's Ambi_Valo. So if you like, you can give a follow there. But expect nothing special, you know, of course. But I will do my best. I will do my best. It's again one of the things that I need to work on, you know, like the social media presence. So I will try to improve that case as well. And shout outs. No, first, of course, I have to mention my beloved girlfriend, you know, who like we have been together for, I would say, oh, she would beat me if she would be here right now, but it has been a lot. I think it's 6 years now. And she was supporting through this whole career, you know. She was literally with me in the beginning when I was playing football and I was not even playing any games. And she was supporting me there as well. She was going on my matches and stuff. And now she's here with me, you know, supporting me every time. So yeah, that's the biggest shout out that I would like to give, and thank her for that. And of course, my family, my mom, who was always supportive since the beginning as well. Like she was again one of the reasons, you know, she allowed me to play games so much because of course she was like insist that I have to have good grades, you know, and she would like forbidden me to play PC games if I had bad grades and stuff. But she was like the one who was forcing me to do everything. I mean everything, and allowed me to play games afterwards. And then of course like my dad as well. Even though like he doesn't really like esports, you know, and he doesn't really like this job that I'm doing at the moment. He was always the figure that I like competed against, you know, like even if it was in school or in life overall. I'm up until this point I'm like competing with him in many things, you know, like yeah. So basically those are the three main people I would like to thank. Of course, all my family, you know, my all siblings, smaller ones, and grandpas, everyone basically. So yeah, I am very grateful for what I can do at the moment, you know, for a living. Thanks everyone for the support, and yeah, see you some other time.
That's great. And also thank you to Stan for setting this up, because otherwise we wouldn't have necessarily had this conversation. So cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you as well.